Slow train coming down that freedom track. Slow train coming on down that freedom track. Don't need money in your sack, fancy suit on your back. Ride the slow train. Slow train. All God's children ride for free. Slow train. God's children get to ride for free. Don't need no stained glass recipe or a college.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Humanity Matters this evening. Tonight's episode is called In Care of Cats, Reese and Pam. And before we get started with our program, I'd like to say some shout outs real quick. I want to say hi to Kevin and Ken and Michelle and Kim from a local store, a local department store. And I want to say hi to Chris Weiss and Martha Weiss and Dennis Weiss and Donna Weiss and Kathy Pear and Tommy Coles. And
Tommy Coles, you got in there.
And now I'm going to introduce our host of our show, Albert Turcasso.
Hey, everybody. Hi, Tommy Coles. I just had to say that. Yeah, Donna, I said his name. By the way, my audience here and my guest here, they're probably like, who's Tommy Coles and why is he doing this? I know, audience, that a lot of times it seems like I'm thinking that I'm on a personal call instead of on live television. And no, I actually know that I'm on live television and it's not a personal call. And we got to make it relevant to you. So bear with us, but we like to have fun. But today is going to be extraordinarily serious. But I think that by the end of the day, by the end of the evening tonight, you're going to definitely want to write some things down, record this episode as usual, and I would say you're going to find out some very good information, painful information, and uplifting information. So it's going to be a little bit of everything. We will have a video message for you a little bit later. So one thing is, I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to have my sound off tonight. So I want to throw this in there before we start everything out. I keep telling people to find me on the internet, whether it's through Facebook or humanitymatters.org or other avenues. And I keep telling people there's a reason for that. And because there's no advertising allowed, there's certain things I can't say. I do want you to know that since October of 2012, the Albert Turcasso you used to see, hear, and know has changed. And I am determined to do what most people would consider impossible. By the end of this year, I am determined to start earning an income for myself and start gaining freedom for myself, but also for everybody that I know. And that means I'm going to have to find different avenues. And that's one of the things that these sound offs are going to frequently start to be involved with. But in order to do that, you're going to have to find me on the internet because there are certain things I am not allowed to say. With having said all that, you know, everybody in their job, before we get to the business at hand, and we only have a few minutes, everybody in their job could have a fantastic career. You could be a doctor, you can be a carpenter, you can be an engineer, an attorney. It doesn't matter. You lose something, even though you may have a fantastic career and it's wonderful and it's helping humanity, you still lose something. You usually lose time or time with your family, what have you. So throughout this year, we're going to keep concentrating on that. We do have calls waiting, but they're going to have to hold on because we got to start the episode with the questions. But let me just say this, getting back real quickly. Keep tuning in to what I do on my blog, on my other sites, because what I am trying to do, and understand this, right now I have zero income. Okay, so nothing has changed on that level. But I am determined to find a way to overcome this barrier. But in the process, I want to change the quality of life for literally thousands of human beings and thousands of animals. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I am determined that by the end of this year, something good is going to happen. With that, something good is going to happen tonight. We may just save the lives of a lot of animals tonight just by speaking. So with that, we have to say hello to Reese on my left and on your right, and then on my right and on your left, don't get confused at home, and we have Pam. Now, I could say their last names, but in case I would make a blooper, I'm just going to leave that, and, you know, I'm not going to take that little risk. Yeah, I'm chicken, okay? No, I'm not chicken. I can actually say it. Reese Santos. She cheated. And Pam Amacarella, I think, is something close to it, right?
Very correct.
Is it right?
Yep, you did it
Hey,
good.
what do you know? He shoots and scores. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's have Annette ask the very first question of Reese, and then the very first question of Pam, if she has one. But at least, do you have a question for Pam or Reese?
Reese.
Okay, well.
Reese, I just want to know, do you only specialize in taking care of cats, and if so, why, as opposed to dogs or rabbits or any other animal?
Okay, that's a good question.
thank you.
I do run in care of cats in Elizabeth. It is basically set up for cats. There are so many animals in need in this country that you really have to pick your fight to succeed in helping as many as you can. However, we never walk away from an animal in need. We've saved many dogs. I have 2 unsociable chinchillas, if you can believe that. Rabbits are often abandoned to the woods. We get them in traps. Any animal in need is taken care of by us. And if it's wildlife, they're taken to a wildlife refuge, of course.
Well, we really appreciate you being somebody who's caring for animals for a change.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's too many out there.
We didn't start out with cats. In fact, I never had a cat. I always had dogs growing up, but the need was so great. There are cats everywhere, and it guided us that way.
Yeah, it seems like whenever we come across a stray, it's a cat. So the cats that we've been taking care of were strays, and I'm blessed to have them, and I love each and every one of them.
Yes, they. I always like to say they rescued me.
There you go. I believe that. I think that's very true.
So how long have you been taking care of cats?
Oh my goodness, we actually began in 1978 and
I was a
grew,
kid.
grew from there. Yes, you were just a baby. You too, Albert.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute now. I'm the oldest man in the universe. Let's not go there.
But it was never a planned course. It sort of evolved from our beginnings.
So what job or career do you have on the side, if you do, to cover the expenses of taking care of the cats?
Well, our income means a lot, but my work with the shelter is full-time.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a no-kill shelter?
It's absolutely no kill. It's not a traditional shelter. In fact, it's not even a public shelter. It's a private sanctuary. We rescue cats. We mostly seek out the sick and injured. We're not focused on pets for people. We're focused on
Taking care of them.
helping the cats that have already been discarded and suffered from it. They need medical care. They're the ones that no one wants. If they prove to be non-adoptable after that care and recovery, then they come back to our sanctuary and live out their lives in an indoor-outdoor environment and medical care and so on. Now, those that prove healthy and adoptable after the process go on to foster homes and hopefully permanent homes.
Well, God bless you,
Thank you.
both you and Pam.
Thank you.
And do you have a question for Pam, or do you want to defer to me? Because I definitely have questions.
Well, Pam, how long, you work with Reese, right?
I've known Reese. I originally met her about 10 years ago. The work that I actually do is called TNR work, and I go out into the community and trap, neuter, and release feral cats. And a lot of those cats have come from poor backgrounds. There are instances where some of them have diseases, some of them have been injured, and that was initially how I first came about hearing of Reese's facility.
All right, well, I tell you what, I do have questions, and believe me, I will be getting to those. But at this point, we do have a call, so let's go ahead and have Reese take the call. And just basically say, caller, are you there?
Hello, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, how are you? I'm calling from parts unknown. How's everyone?
Hi, fine, we're fine, thank you.
He's one of our co-hosts. He's
I
unfortunately
have
not
a
here right
question for you.
Yes,
You're the one that does the cat sanctuary, correct?
pardon me?
You're the one that has the cat sanctuary, correct?
Yes.
I want to know what made you get started in that, and what inspired you to do that, and also, is there anybody that says, "Oh no, you can't do that"?
Well, that's an excellent question. I'm glad you asked it. Yes, somebody did say you can't do that many years ago. They
Where
said
were they wrong?
it was the wind under my wings. In fact, she said you'd be wasting your medicine on sick cats. You'd be wasting your resources on cats nobody wants. Well, I thought that's exactly what we're after. The cats nobody wants, they're the ones that need help the most. I call it the road less traveled. I'm quoting Robert Frost a bit there, but those words have meant a lot to me, and it has made all the difference for thousands of kitty cats that would not have had a chance otherwise. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Chris, on that.
Also,
And
what inspired you to do that?
what inspired you?
My love for animals, I was born that way. And as I said before, I was telling somebody just now, I never had dogs in my life. I mean, cats in my life. I had dogs. When I was able to start helping animals, I thought of dogs, basically. They need a lot of help, too. But the cats, the need was so great. They were simply everywhere. And they still are. They pour out of the doors as fast as rescue people can help them today. There are thousands of rescue groups, sanctuaries, TNR groups in the United States. And still, there is no end to the cats in the streets because the apathy among lawmakers, it's just not important, but it's become an important social issue today. It's neighbor against neighbor, it's every neighborhood, and it's all people like us too. It's a terrible situation, and it needs to be factored at both ends. We can't just keep trying to exterminate them. They've been exterminating cats for 50 or so years. We've killed billions, and it has made no difference at all. In fact, there's more than ever. We need spay-neuter laws. We need tougher enforcement of these laws, protection laws for animals, and cats are animals. For some reason, they're not included in that a lot. Cats are the probably the most neglected responsibility. Humans have the most neglected animal
And abused.
and abused.
You know, I have to come out and say what it is.
They're domestic companion animals. They need our care.
Now, there's also, in my neighborhood where I live at, there's a lot of stray cats.
Yes, there is still.
And also in my neighborhood, there's also a lot of raccoons. Do you think there are more raccoons in neighborhoods or more cats in neighborhoods?
He wants to know whether you think there may be more raccoons or more cats.
That's hard to say, and you know what? That's another good point, because animal control is constantly trying to get rid of the raccoons, and they're still there, aren't they? Killing
Yeah.
doesn't work.
That's
Killing
true.
does
They have
not
babies,
work.
they keep growing.
As a matter of fact, I saw a raccoon last night in a local alley, and I think Chris knows where I mean, without saying anything.
Yes, animals adapt to living around us.
Right.
The food supply and so on. Cats are no different. These poor cats are condemned for everything, for for seeking food, for hunting, we need to do something about this. They're
Well, let me ask you this. You said something to me on the phone, but before I do go, Chris, I do believe we have another call, so I would like you to call me later tonight, maybe about 11:30 tonight if you can, if you're still there, Chris.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, try giving me a call tonight because we do have another call and I don't want to take away from them. I do appreciate it. Do you have any hellos or anything you want to mention?
Well, I'd like to say hello to Elaine Dugan,
All right.
and she can't, she's trying to get it on the internet, but she can't get it. But she can't get it in her TV anywhere.
Okay.
But she'll be able to watch it on the future when it gets on the website.
All right. Well, it will be on www.pctv21.org from now until 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time
Yeah,
today.
but it's not on.
Well, it may not be working correctly, but in the future, it will be back on. I believe it's Wednesdays, either at 12 noon or 3 p.m. I apologize, audience, for not knowing that, but unfortunately, I haven't been able to look at the schedule lately. One thing I will tell everybody that you will always be able to find this episode either at YouTube or www.humanitymatters.org. Eventually, there will be links to it at Facebook, at Twitter, humanitymatters.org. YouTube will have a copy of it. And I'm actually in the process of trying to find a way to put each one of my episodes on literally at least 10 to 30 different websites. So we're going to get a lot of play, and everybody's going to see everybody's face. So just relax and get ready for it.
There's one more thing I want to say.
Uh-oh, don't make fun of my comb over.
Well, speaking of, it has to do with here in the roundabout way.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
On a February show, I did mention, and I'm still doing this, is if the Penguins make the playoffs, if anybody comes forward,
Oh, no.
they could, I'll talk to them how they can do it, and shave my head on TV to raise money for our organization, but it has to be a non-profit.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe we can do that for you in Care Cats and find a way to have people donate finances for every piece of hair you get cut off. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to move forward on that one, Chris, so I'll see you later, young man.
All right.
We'll see you soon, Chris.
All right. And I'll see you soon, Al.
God bless you.
All right. Bye.
Take care.
Bye. Say hi to Donna for me.
I will. All right. Well, we're going to go to the next call, but you answered that call.
yes.
And you said, hello, caller, are you there, right?
Yes.
So what do you think the next logical step would be?
Pammy.
Bingo. Your turn.
Okay. Hello, caller.
Hi.
How can I
Hello?
help you today?
Hi, Chris. I'll talk to you later. I love you. Be careful and stay safe.
That's Miss Donna.
Okay.
That's his sister.
And I
a
seen you
former
roll your
co-host.
eyes and putting your head, looking up at the ceiling like, oh my God, here we go.
I wasn't looking up the ceiling
you
like, oh
were,
my
liar.
God, here we go.
Yeah,
I
you
forgot to
like it.
say hi to Chad and Ashley, too.
Well, we're going to say hello to Frank, Kevin, Caleb, Jacob, Mike, Steve, Alex, Stan, Shane, and Andy. And our prayers and thoughts go to Timmy, Chris, Mom, Stan, Olsen family, Anderson family, the Trott family, the Wilson family. Happy birthday to Janet, Nikki, Jeannie, Julia, Leo, Cherokee, Tony, Sean, Jimmy, Zach, and Aaron. And Scott, who works at a GG. But I just said the initials. I didn't say the store, but it's in West Mifflin by the Port Authority.
You can't do
See, there
that.
you go again. See, there you go. And you're tapping your ink pen there.
You always make fun of me.
I don't always make fun of you.
That's just
You
wrong.
mean little witch. Oh,
Move
no,
it
he's
up,
going
move it.
his
I mean,
head. I always try to get him going. Okay, roll him.
we don't have that much time left. Come on. Oy. I have a lot of questions here. Now ask
Oh,
them
your
a
audience
question.
show up?
We're running out of time. Ask
All right, did your audience show up?
Just
A
three.
few people did. Can we ask the question of Pam and also?
Hi,
of Reese?
audience. Be careful going home.
Okay, ask the question.
I know Chris asked the question. I got the answer for Chris. He says, what is there more of, more stray cats or raccoons? In our area in Homestead, there's more raccoons than there is cats. So that question's already got answered.
Okay, well, ask another question. Hurry up,
No,
run out of
I
daylight.
have 5 cats and 4 dogs, and I know you don't really specialize in dogs. But my one cat, Cherokee Lee, he doesn't have hardly any, I think he has no teeth or like 2 teeth, and he has trouble eating. And right now he's being very finicky. He hasn't eaten in like 2 days. So is there something that we can give him, or do you know what can be done for him? Because naturally, cats cannot get false teeth.
Okay, who's that question for, Beth?
Oh, whoever can answer it, either Pam or somebody, because like I said, I have 5 cats, and my Cherokee Lee only has 2 teeth.
Okay, how old is the cat with the 2 teeth?
How old is Cherokee Lee?
Pardon me?
Oh,
I'm asking. I don't know how old my cat is. He's 10 years old.
He's 10 years
10
old.
years old and has 2 teeth.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure what we could do about that. Part of it's a natural process. Some cats are old at 10, some at 20, and they do lose their teeth. However, nobody can really answer that question accurately without an examination, so
Okay.
you need to contact your vet.
Well, we did. They gave him a shot, but it only lasted for 2 weeks.
Oh.
2 weeks. Oh my gosh. And he's hasn't had his teeth ever since he was like 4 months old.
Oh, well, is he eating and acting normal?
No, well, he doesn't really eat, and now we'll even tell you this, that he has trouble eating, and
Yeah, he has
sometimes
trouble
he don't even want to eat at all.
Well, it sounds more like a mouth problem than teeth to me, but a veterinarian can decide that. You need another visit or a phone call. Tell them the cat's in pain and not eating, and see what the next step would be.
Right. Your veterinarian, they do have medication or food that the veterinarian can prescribe for your cat that has an appetite stimulant in it. It's an AD formula, but you would be best to contact your veterinarian because that is something that you have to get directly from the veterinarian.
Okay, one of the things, and Donna will not say this, but one of the problems that she has is it's a financial thing. So I guess it comes down to when we get to that question about people who may have animals who want to take care of them, need help with veterinarians. You have a list that you are going to tell us about at some point. And when we get to that point, we will have some information for you, Donna, but it's more of a financially prohibitive more than actually a veterinarian. They can't give it to him, you know what I mean?
Right.
Then the other thing is, he is a very,
He's a pain in the butt.
no, he's not that. Don't
Yeah,
pick
he
on my
is.
grandson. He is very frightened and very, not violent, but he gets scared when you try to give him medicine. So that's another problem.
Well,
Those are the two
He
issues.
spazzes out when you try to give him medicine because he's a butthead.
And he gets very agitated and scratches you up.
Well, now she did relay that she had taken him to the
Right,
vet
they
and
gave
he
him a
got a
shot.
shot.
Right.
So chances are she may be able to contact her veterinarian
Okay.
if it was recent and just explain that the cat is still not really
Right.
eating
Right.
and be able to get just the food to see if that
Okay.
stimulates his
So the AD
appetite.
might do it.
So that's a step that she could take first would be to recontact the veterinarian that she already went to.
Okay.
There's also medications that stimulate the appetite, but AD is very popular with the cats. It has a strong flavor. It's very soft.
We gave that to one of my cats before she passed, actually. So I'm familiar with it. But it's more of a cost prohibition, I guess is what the word is.
Sure.
But at any rate, in terms of the medicine, getting the medicine into him, it's like, oh my goodness.
Oh,
Even
yeah,
the
he
towel
scratches you
method
and
doesn't
bites you,
work.
and oh my gosh,
Yeah, he's
it's like
he's
pulling a
actually
tooth from a
got-
tiger's mouth.
Yes, cats are the most popular pet in America these days, and there's billions spent on them annually. Fortunately, about 93 million homes in America have at least one cat. It's too bad that there's so many out in the street, but there's a positive side to the cat
Right.
story, and it's that one. People love their cats.
Oh yeah, we love them.
We're in
All
a
the cats we have, like I said, we have 5 cats, and they were all stray cats, and
Yes, good
they
for
were
you.
all they were small. They were who wasn't Orange Cloud's not stray, and neither is Greyheart, and
No.
Orange Cloud's not stray.
3 of them
The
were
other three
straight.
are.
That's all right.
Well, they sure need your help, and they were lucky to find you. Unfortunately, that's a serious problem with many people. They can't afford the medical care cats require, or any pet requires, and it's not like you go out and buy an expensive pet and then can't afford it. You're helping them in off the street. We're all working on things for the future to
Right.
make it easier to solve those problems.
All right, well, you know what? We do have another call. I'm going to go ahead and get this call. I'll
Well, you
answer
coming in
this
for
one.
dinner, or are you gonna? What are you doing for dinner?
I don't know yet. I'll call you later.
Well, I'm not making dinner until I know for sure, because I don't want you come here and say,
don't
I'm not
know.
hungry, or I make dinner and you don't show up at all.
I'll call you at 7:01. I have to go.
All right, well, I'm not telling you what's for dinner until I hear from you.
All right, God bless you. I'll tell you. I'll
If you
call
want
you
to
when I'm
bring
off
any
the
company or visitors, you're more than welcome to bring company.
show. All right, well, I'm going to move forward now because I got our call.
So move
See you,
forward.
Donna.
Let me see you move. Move. Move.
All right, gosh. All right. All right, you want to see me move? Millions of dollars. I'm just kidding. I had to do that. There's a little side thing. I keep telling Donna that I'm going to eventually earn millions of dollars on some of the things that I'm doing in my business, which eventually I will earn. And she teases me because there's a wrestling team, and they're called the Primetime Players, which is a sidebar. This has nothing to do with the cats thing, but at any rate, one of their catchphrases is they go like this, they go something like this, millions of dollars, millions. It's really stupid, but it's funny, but I just had to do that because I know she was going to tease me about that. But at any rate, getting back to the business at hand, let's go for this call, and then what we're going to do is, Eric, right after this call, we're going to do the 5-minute video message, and then after that, I want to get to some of these papers, but we definitely have to get to the TNR because I want to throw down how I feel about some of these things, because all of you know that when I want to say something, I say something, because I got a big mouth. No, I'm just kidding. I had to do that. Jackie Gleason on me. What can I say? But at any rate, let's go to the caller number 3 if there is one. Are you there, caller? Uh-oh. I guess the cat got its tongue. Okay, I'm sorry. That was a terrible pun. Hello? Speak up.
Diane, your sister.
Okay. You have a question for Pam, or for Reese or Pam?
Yes, I have a question for Pam. I don't remember the other lady's name.
Well, which lady are you speaking about?
Pam.
Yes,
Okay.
what's your question?
Now, you know I can't see the show, but I still have a question because you told me what it's going to be about.
Okay.
Now, Pam, I have a question.
What
I'm
about
Diane. I'm his sister, one of his sisters.
Oy, oy, oy. I'm going to
Okay,
relax
yes,
now.
ma'am.
Go ahead.
Now, Pam, here's the question. Do people allowed to adopt animals there? Adopt animals, and do they have to pay a lot of money?
No, that question is
that's
actually for
actually
Reese,
correct.
the other young lady. So,
Oh.
Reese, if you could answer that.
We don't adopt directly out because our
I mean,
sanctuary.
if somebody wants to adopt one, can
Yes,
you
yes, yes,
adopt
yes.
an animal?
Yes, we have cats in foster, what are highly adoptable, and contact us and we'll connect you.
Do you want to
Okay.
adopt a cat?
She's asking
No,
if
I
it's
don't have.
possible.
I don't want to adopt no cat.
No, she's saying, can they be? She was
Oh,
asking.
absolutely. There are
Right.
many, many cats, dogs too, that need, we need as many homes as we can get. Spring is upon us and there's going to be a lot more.
Okay, well, yeah, unfortunately. So with that, Diane, we're going to,
But I do have. I mean,
Okay,
does
go ahead, Diane, make it
adoption.
fast.
Wait a minute. Does adoption? You have to do the same kind of paperwork like you do if you're adopting a child, or is it something different? Please tell
she
the
wants to know what's
audience.
the procedure of it.
Yes, well, every organization has its own policies, its own set of rules. Absolutely, we do interview persons. It has to be an indoor responsible home and a permanent commitment, yes. As for
Okay.
the others, I can't speak for them.
And audience guests there, I can't see who they are. Wear that seatbelt, because my brother will say, "Put that seatbelt on."
Yeah, you're right, I will
And
say
you
that.
put that seatbelt on, and it saves lives.
That's right. All right, Diane,
Now
I'm
go
going
ahead
to...
and tell them, Al. Go ahead and tell them.
Oh, I always tell them, but I got to move forward, Diane, because
All
we're
right,
running out
Al.
of
We'll
daylight.
talk to you tonight. And
Why does everybody tell people, my audience, that they're going to
I
talk to
hope
me
you
tonight.
don't have a good evening.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. You too.
I just had
Okay,
to say
talk to
something.
you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I just had to say something to my audience. I appreciate you tuning in. I know that when I get calls, it's like they think they're calling me up on the phone, but that's okay, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, humanity and animals really do matter. Don't forget that. Because if not, I'll have Tony, who's over here in the audience, I'll have him take care of the business, if you know what I mean. Because, he ain't going to go for that. That's Tony well, we won't go there. He's a tough guy. Hey, forget about it. He's so tough, he took Tony Soprano out to the river. But we won't go there. Getting down to the real
I have
business.
another question for Reese.
Time out. We got a video.
Oh.
Hold that one till the video's over, okay? Sound
Yeah.
good?
Yeah. All right.
All right, we cool on that?
Yes.
All right, good. Don't pull my hair out because I don't have much hair to get pulled out.
That's Diane's department.
I'm not saying anything. Eric, if you're still breathing back there after all this nonsense, if you could roll the video, that'd be great.
Hi, I'm Reese, and this is In Care of Cats in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania. Well, this is Woody, the only cat that's allowed out this far. This is a nonprofit, all volunteer, 501c3 organization to the rescue and sometimes rehab, always rehab, but sometimes sanctuary for cats in dire need of help. We have a minute to show you around. Come on in. This is the main door to the sanctuary. This is the kitty house. It used to be an very old house. When we decided to help animals, we realized they couldn't wait years until we raised enough money to build something. So we decided to start right where we were and go from there. And all these years later, it's still a work in progress, and I think always will be. We try to improve on it all the time. So why don't you come on in and see what we've done so far. We're inside the first room. I'm going to hurry through. It's a big place and I'm not going to be able to show it all. We have a strict time constraint today. This is a homemade condo for a couple chinchillas that were badly treated, and so they don't like people very much, but we gave them a life here. They're happy. We were featured in Cat Fancy magazine in 2002, I believe. Very nice article. We do a lot of emergency things. These two unfortunate fellas were caught in leg hold traps, which I have no idea why they're still legal in Pennsylvania, but very commonly they catch cats, dogs, they don't care what they catch. These two each lost a front leg. It's very common, and they're lucky they survived. Isolation room for, of course, when we trap them, we don't know what their health status is always just by looking at them. They require blood tests and vetting to see what is the best thing we're going to do for that cat in particular. Each one is a different story. Of course, there are lost animals too. We're always looking for them. We understand the pain of losing one. Everything is safe for them in all kinds of ways. I should add that all cats will be euthanized in due time when their quality of life diminishes, to be non-responsive to standard treatment. No one is here to suffer. They're here to live. Once an animal is born, they're supposed to live next. This is our America's Most Unwanted poster. There's all kinds, but for cats you need a whole wall. The kitten is guilty, the two pets are guilty, the two mothers are guilty for having kittens. It's actually their owners are guilty for not spaying them. The kitten is guilty for coming up with a positive infectious test. This girl got old. They want a new kitten. How sad. This guy wasn't neutered. He's a scourge of the neighborhood. He goes home for the night. Their baby goes to bed. But, well, need I say more? This little one looks just pretty much like him, but he is neutered, and he is loved by his family, and he's kept inside. But things happen. Accidents happen. Cats get lost. He could be looking for his way home. His owners could be looking for him. Traps don't care. Nasty people don't care. We do. This is, well, we don't like the word feral. It's a nasty 5-letter word around here. Most of the cats in our midst, our community, nuisance cats, so to speak, are frightened. Cats are very timid animals. They frighten easily. When lost or abandoned, they learn fear very quickly, or they wouldn't survive at all. The kittens born to them usually don't survive. The few that do grow up to be ferals or unsocialized. Feral is never an accurate word because it means wild, and these are domestic animals. Angels and St. Francis you'll find everywhere. Art prints, people and animals, it goes back to our very beginnings. It's inherent in humans to want to be close to animals. That's why we domesticated them in the first place.
There we go. Well, I was looking at that video and I was just thinking that, you know, it's so true what she said about how the cats are unwanted and how they're perceived in so many different ways. One of the things that I find very, I won't say reprehensible, but there's a lot of people who are ignorant of the true nature of a cat, and maybe, you know, they just don't know, but there are a lot of extraordinarily affectionate cats out there. And I know that people think that dogs are more affectionate. Dogs are different, but they're not necessarily more affectionate. They're definitely different. I'll give you an example. I have a cat that every time I'm in the house, she comes to me just like a dog would at the door, and follows me everywhere. She is extraordinarily affectionate, and she tends to want to groom me. In fact, it's kind of funny because I'm like, uh-oh, here we go again. But cats are extraordinarily affectionate. And you do have the cat that's like, oh gosh, I don't care if you're home or not. But then you have the dog that's the same way. So we need to quit stigmatizing these animals, and we need to quit killing these animals off in the numbers that we are, and we have to come up with a different solution. Now, Reese had mentioned something to me on the phone, and I want to get her to start looking at some of her paperwork here, and I also want to get to the TNR. That's extremely important. But before we do, you had mentioned something about in other countries, they handle their animal problem differently,
Yes.
or somehow differently. Could you explain that to the audience?
Yes. I think I told you how surprised I was to find out that the United States is actually 15th in the world in its ranking as to how we care for our animals. It was shocking. A country like this, there's no excuse for that. Can you imagine 14 other countries that have better resources or kinder people than we do in the United States? I can only put it down to tradition. We're so used to it, we think the whole world is like this. It's not. Domestic animals require care. No domestic animal should be born unless it has a home waiting. We don't allow chickens to bloom all over the place. Chickens are raised for the need. So our cattle, the sheep for their wool, every domestic animal is regulated in some way. They just don't breed and all over our yards and alleys and suffer and die in our streets. Why are we doing this to cats? If we stop and think about it, and Albert said the key word, ignorance, there is so much misunderstanding about these poor animals.
And I want to say something about this. You know, we seem to think that dogs are so much sweeter than cats that I think that's one reason why the cats are abused as much as they are. But make no mistake to the dog lovers out there, and I will tell you, I love all animals, most animals. But to the dog lovers out there, one reason why you probably don't see as many stray dogs is because they don't survive, but they're out there. And I think we need to really change the way we think. As far as an answer to your question, not really your statement, but you know, it doesn't surprise me that the United States is fifth. You said 15th or did you say 14th?
15th.
I think you said 15th, right? That doesn't surprise me because when we look at the United States, we have become a very me first kind of country. And that's why we don't want to have universal health care, not to get into the tangent, but that's a fact. We don't care about each other. You know, we shouldn't even be called, quite honestly, the United States anymore. We should be called the me first states or the divided states because most people don't care if you live or die. I don't care if you're a human, you're a cat, you're a dog. It doesn't matter. Most people don't care if you're living or dead. And let me just say this about everybody in this room. We actually care if you're living or dead. We care if an animal is living or dead. We care if a dog or a cat or a rabbit or a chinchilla, as we heard on the video. We care. Now you might say, well, you have the resources, or Reese's a nonprofit, or whatever you want to come up with, the reason why we care. It's not because of what you think. It's because this is the way we should be. And if America is going to always be called the greatest country on earth, you're not going to get away with that platitude around me. You're going to become what you say you are. So I'm here to try to change my country. I'm here to change lives. And you know what? I'm a big mouth. I talk way too long. That's why people don't like it. But you know what? I'm going to be in your face. And I'm going to be in your face so many times that you won't be able to knock me out enough times. Because every time you think you got rid of me, I will be back. And I will be back 10 times more. We have got to save the lives of these animals. We got to quit killing a cat and a dog, and frankly, a human child, like it's just another piece of paper from a Taco Bell wrapper. These are animals. These are children. And I will throw something down before we get to Pam and our wonderful audience. Let me throw this down. Animals are in a more vulnerable shape and condition than most of our children because we have, for the most part, we love our children, for the most part. Babies have humans to take care of them. But what about the kitten or the puppy out there in the street facing untold horror? And then we want to vilify them. Why? It's not their fault. You know, they didn't ask to have somebody come up to Homestead on West Street. Yeah, I threw it out there and just dump a cat, a little kitten, on the street to die because they didn't want to take care of it, or a puppy.
They're the victims.
They didn't ask for that.
They're the victims.
That's right, they're the victims. So if you know what, if you don't like what I have to say, you better get used to it because I'm going to tell you something, America. Eventually, the corporations are going to hire me because I'm controversial, and I'll be in your face 10 times more. We need to save lives, we need to change lives, and dang it, I'm going to do everything I can. And I happen to applaud Reese and Pam for what they're doing. And everybody in this room, Leonard over here, who didn't expect to hear his name, he's done a wonderful thing. He put the video together, he helped put the video together. Then we have in the middle, we have my buddy over there, Tony. He's doing something to help people. And Barb, I didn't get to meet yet, but they're here because they care. So with that, let's do something a little bit different because we're running out of daylight or nighttime. I don't know if these are going to be able to be seen, but I would like you to expound specifically on this. And we do have a call that we have to get to. We'll get to you in about a minute. Talk about this and some of your other things.
Okay, this just touches on kittens. It's spring, people are allowing their cats to breed, producing more and more unwanted kittens. Their excuse is, or their justification is, we find them homes. Or if we can't find them homes, we take them to the shelter. Do you know 95 or more % of every kitten born in this country is born to die? They may start out like this, and who doesn't want that? Somehow they end up like this.
You can't really see it, but It's a
Okay.
very, very sad picture.
Please
of
do
the
not
animals.
advertise free kittens anywhere. In your yard, Craigslist, nowhere. People will say it's a good home. They become snake food. They become all kinds of things. A toy for a child is not appropriate. Kittens are very delicate. Please do not allow your cats to breed. Get them spayed and neutered. And you think one female has a couple litters a year? How many does a male have? How many kittens does he produce?
Could you say that? Because you can't really see it. Could
Oh,
you
okay.
just say it for us?
The biggest human contributors to feline misery and kitten death are people who love their little tall boy and let him out to roam free unaltered. Please don't do that.
Yeah, I would never do that. Now, let me, real quickly, do you have another one you want to get to?
No, that's
Because I want to spend at least 10 straight minutes with,
Yes.
you know, the TNR.
which is extremely important, yes.
It
Well, I
isn't-
have a
it's-
couple questions for
okay,
Reese.
be real quick then.
Reese, one thing that concerns me is it natural that when cats get older, they get cancer and diseases?
Well, no more so. Well, some things are more, some cats are more prone to certain things, but just as in humans, they're all different. It depends on their genetics and so many things.
Okay, and how are cats with rabbits? Do you know?
Again, that's an individual.
It's
It's how you put them
individualized.
together and raise them.
Oh,
They
so
can get along if they're raised right.
so-
Almost all behavior with animals is due to the people who have them and deal with it.
That makes sense. Well, let's quickly
Okay,
get
thank you.
into the TNR. We have 10 minutes left. And for the record, we have another call? Uh-oh. Well, let's get the quick call, and then hopefully one question for the caller, and then we can get to the TNR. And whatever we don't get covered here, we'll be bringing back the crew, and then I'll be doing some research so I can ask even more questions. So look out, America. Look out, America and Pittsburgh, because here it comes. Caller, you're there? One question, please. Uh-oh. Caller, are you there?
Yes,
Okay, do you have a question?
yes, I do. I just want to know, with so many cats that she has, how does she take care of them all, and does she have a staff?
Do you have a staff? How do you take care of the cats?
Oh, absolutely. This is, again, it's been a work in progress for many years. We have a skeleton crew, which is on the premises at all times. Our family lives in another building on the property. These cats are never uncared for. We have a visiting vet. We have volunteers. There's so much work to do, we couldn't possibly do it without help.
All right. Well, did that answer your question, caller?
Oh, yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and caller, I want you to know that we're planning on having a series. So we're going to be creating a new series with these two young ladies, and hopefully more people that are currently in the audience will start to come forward and be on the panel, hopefully, in the future. But we're going to have a lot more information. I'm going to try to put more of the information on the internet. We'll have more of the video. That will be on humanitymatters.org. Some of it hopefully will be on Facebook. And like I said before, we don't want to take up any more time. But before we do anything else, we got to get to the TNR. So caller, I hope you have a great night. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm sorry we don't have a little bit more time, but we will definitely have more time in the future. And thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Okay, I almost said caller. I'm drunk and I don't even drink alcohol, America.
You wanted to address the TNR.
Real quickly, yes. Before we do that, let me just say that I'm one of the guys who, I believe in the trapping, I believe in the neutering, but yeah, I'm one of the guys who's like, why are you going to put that baby back out there? So can you explain that to the audience? And you might want to look at the audience, because if you look at me, I might be growling. No, I'm
Well,
kidding,
and
kidding.
I'm going to go back a
Seriously.
step to what exactly TNR is.
All right, but the only
TNR
thing
stands
is, we
for,
have about 5 minutes.
it's Trap Neuter and Release. And basically, we've all seen those cats out there, the cats behind restaurants, the cats roaming the streets, the cats that are breeding like crazy. TNR is a process where we go into these areas, these cats that are unsocialized or homeless that are breeding, and we trap them, spay or neuter them, vaccinate them, ear tip their left ear as an identification process, and re-release them back into the area they were at where a caretaker normally is feeding them and providing them shelter. The release part, although Albert said he doesn't like that part, you have to liken it to that of a tiger. A tiger in a zoo does not have that good life.
Right.
If given the opportunity, that tiger would prefer to be in the wild. The wild is their home. That's where they live. That's where they're familiar. That's where they feel safe.
Right.
If you bring this tiger into a caged environment, that tiger is going to go stir crazy. It's going to have depression issues. It's not going to be a happy animal. Although these cats are not wild bred animals, they are domestic animals, it's the same philosophy. The outdoors is their home.
Okay.
And if you have a good caretaker, which many of these colonies and most of these colonies strive to have, they're getting regular food, they're getting warm shelter. Some people have very extravagant setups for their feral cats. They have houses that are heated. We have shelters that are several layers thick that have insulation.
I did not know that.
Many types of things are done for the outdoor cats.
And of course, weak and sick are removed.
Right.
They're not all just automatically put back.
Right. Friendly cats are removed out of there. Ones that are able to be adopted out, we bring them out. Young kittens, when kittens are born, instead of spaying and neutering and releasing a 10-week-old kitten, that kitten has all chances of being able to be socialized and adopted out. And so it also helps in TNRing to thin out those cats who were just dumped by their previous owners.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest problems out there for these cats is people move. They leave their cats behind.
Right.
They dump them. They don't do what they need to do. Or, as Reese said, you let your tomcat go wandering down the streets. Well, one abandoned female in your neighborhood meets up with Mr. Tom. All of a sudden, 6 weeks, 9 weeks later, you've got 7 cats running around. End of the summer, those 7 cats have already hit breeding stage themselves. You've got 20, 30 cats.
Oh my goodness.
And so TNR is a very important process because it allows the cats to be cats. It allows them to be healthy, vaccinated, and spayed and neutered so the population is not increasing. And that's the biggest factor right there is it stabilizes the population, gets rid of those hormonal things that cause conflicts for neighbors. The male cats are no longer spraying on bushes. The male cats are no longer fighting, so you're not seeing injured cats running around. The babies are not being born in March. Right now is kitten season. Babies are being born out there that are suffering with pneumonia, eye issue, upper respiratory. Those types of things stop. They're roaming. They're getting into people's trash. If you've got a good cared for colony, those behaviors that the neighbors normally don't like that cause the neighbors to want them removed, those are reduced and in most cases eliminated.
Wow.
It makes for a healthier cat population, a happier neighborhood, and in the long run, TNR is a program that works. Going in, as Reese said, we've been killing way too many cats. They used to go in, clean up all the cats, kill them all. Guess what happens? There's a food source. New cats move in. It does not work to kill them. You can't take them to shelters because they will be killed right away at a shelter. And so TNR is the most humane way to do this and is something that all communities should be bolstering and fostering.
Have you gone to Homestead?
I do a lot of work. I've done trapping in Westmoreland, in Suddersville. I've done trapping in Glassport, West Mifflin. I've done trapping in Brookline. There are many of us out there, and pretty much most areas and most communities have somebody that is doing this type of work.
How about Greenfield?
We do have people in Greenfield. We have people in Shadyside. We have people pretty much everywhere.
Okay, well, guess what? We're going to close down, but real quickly, 2 things, real fast, because we have like 30 seconds. Being that you have this TNR program, how much does a vet usually charge you per cat in order to, and we have to basically have about 10 seconds.
Well, and there's a number of different things. I did tell you, I made a list for you that you can link. There is an organization called Homeless Cat Management that works with doing the cats.
Okay.
Approximately every 6 weeks, they do a free clinic.
Okay.
In between, they will do a fast track clinic, and the Homeless Cat Management, Frankie's Friends, the Animal Rescue League, Animal Friends, and Westmoreland Humane Society all do feral cat spay and neuter for $30.
Okay, sounds
Homeless
good,
Cat
$30.
Management does free.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to close up, and we're gonna thank our audience. We'll get to their questions the next time, and they'll be back hopefully. But in the meantime, we're gonna close up for now. There will be an extended version online, so get ready. It should be there within 2 weeks. In the meantime, everybody, remember that you and humanity and all forms of life, including cats, really
It does matter.
Slow train coming down that freedom track. Slow train coming on down that freedom track. Don't need money in your sack, fancy suit on your back. Ride the slow train. Slow train. All God's children ride for free. Slow train, God's children get to ride for free. Don't need no stained glass recipe or a college PhD. Ride the slow train. Slow train. Hop on up while we still can. Slow train, best hop on board while we still can. Just call on the name of a sinner's only friend. Ride the slow train.